Welcome. In this video, you will be given information on the Erasmus and overseas programs for the degree programs in the study within the study areas of political science and communication. So for political science, we include the bachelor's degree courses in political science and international relations and social sciences for global challenges. We also include the master's degree programs in economic development and international relations, world politics and international relations, African and Asian studies, and government and public policy or government administration and territory. For the communication area, we include the bachelor's degree program in communication, innovation, multimodality, and the bachelor's degree in digital, and the master's degree in digital communication. All the PhD programs within the Department of Political Science are also included, respectively, in either the political science or the communication area. Now, we recommend you watch this video before signing up for the area meetings you can attend. And we also recommend that you read the call and all of its components before you attend the meetings. Now, in this video, we will take a look at the call together. We will then talk about the most important aspects to look at for your application. We will also see where you can find all the information you need, and we will start from this basically. Now, if we start from the University of Pavia webpage, okay, we look at international, okay, going abroad, opportunities abroad, study abroad, and then we find our two programs. We will first look at Erasmus Plus, and then we will move on to the Overseas Exchange Program. Now, here we find all the details we need, okay, with the deadline. We can find more details here. Who can participate? Okay, basically, we need to be regularly enrolled in a bachelor's, master's, single cycle degree program, specialization, and in our case, doctoral program. So we have our university masters. Then we will see more criteria. This one is particularly important. So you have not been in Erasmus or Erasmus placement and traineeship or Erasmus overseas student for a period exceeding 12 months. Okay, 12 months per each cycle, basically. So 12 months in your bachelor's degree and you're still completing your bachelor's degree, or 12 months already in your master's degree and you're still completing your master's degree. So you cannot go over 12 months in total. Okay, and you get more details here. What you can do. What can we do during the study abroad period? We can attend courses and take exams. We can also conduct research to prepare our thesis, okay? We can do both also together, both attend courses and prepare our thesis. We can also combine these activities with an internship, which is required in your study plan, basically. Okay, now we will look at these aspects later, where you can go. So here you find just some details, and then more details will be available later. If you apply now, okay, and this refers to this call, it means you will go abroad next year, 2026, 2027, that's the academic year, either in the first semester or in the second semester, or both for the entire academic year. Now, that's the most important part to us, which is how to participate, because here we find the call. We click here and we get to see all the details we need. Now, it's important to read the call and all of its attachments. Now, before looking at the call, we will just see what these are. So here you find the details about who your international mobility coordinator for your specific area is. Here you can find an overview of the destinations. Okay. If your area is a communication area, you will find your destinations here. If your area is social and political sciences, here are your destinations. Then we have the single call Coimbra SEN destinations that are open to all degree programs. So you can also pick one of these. We will get back to these later. Now let's take a look at the call together. The call is very detailed and it contains all the, information you need. Before opening the call, you can find a calendar, basically, and some useful deadlines, okay, which are here, basically. And you find a summary of all the documents you will be able to open here. Okay, so it's important to also open the annexes here, the attachments. Now let's start from the call, which is our second file here, call for applications. Okay, it's a very detailed call and you can find all the details you need starting from the deadline, which is February the 10th. Okay, so do not wait till the last moment to apply. So it's best if you start applying now, and right now also the online procedure should be open and available. Now let's see the most important parts of the call, and we recommend you read it very carefully. Here is another contact. You should remember that's the international office. You can refer to this office for every detail on the online procedure, the online platform, as we will see, deadlines, okay, nominations, and mostly administrative information, basically. You contact your Erasmus coordinator corresponding to your area, especially if you need details about, for example, the motivational component in the application and all teaching related issues. So after an introduction, which is important because you get to see what is contained in the annexes here, okay, which are important as well. You can see what your status needs to be in order to apply for an Erasmus Plus destination or program. If you are enrolled in two degree programs at the same time, you can only apply for the study area which you designated as your main one. Now, these are the basic requirements. Have an appropriate knowledge of the language of the host country, and we will talk about that. Any requirements that correspond to your specific destinations, and then the maximum number of months of mobility, as we said before. No more than 12. Double degree programs, we'll say something about them later. In our case, these are the programs of interest to us, okay? Within the Department of Political and Social Sciences, this is the degree program available for students in the master's course in African and Asian Studies, and this is the program available for students enrolled in the World Politics and International Relations program. Now, the mobility period will be between 2 and 12 months, and it will be indicated in the destination file, as we will see. If you apply now, it means that you will be able to study abroad in a period comprised between the 1st of June 2026, but usually it's later, a bit later, because most semesters start in August and September, the first semester. So between June and September 2027. So if you leave for the winter semester, it will be like in fall 2026, okay? If you live in the second semester, you will be leaving around, let's say, January 2027, and you will be back before summer. You can also decide to spend the entire year abroad. Now, here is what we already said. When you're studying abroad, you will be able to attend classes, okay, university courses, and take the corresponding exams. You will be able to prepare your thesis by doing multiple things, for example, attending classes, talking to lecturers, doing research, doing any other activities, attending seminars, for example, and or carrying out research. And collecting data, for example. Not all host universities accept only thesis research activities, but this is indicating in a destination file. So make sure the destinations you pick, if you want to write and prepare your thesis abroad, make sure that it can accept this. Now, we will look at this when looking at the destination file, but let's first focus on this article 6, how to apply. The application is online, and then you will be asked to upload language certificates. You will apply by using a specific platform, which is called Mobility Online, in which you will have to first, in a first phase, let's say, insert your data and also your choices, the universities you have chosen. Okay. And then when you finish basically the first phase, you will be able to proceed to the second phase. And in that phase, you will have to upload any language certificates or state that you need to take the English language or the language proficiency test with the language center. We'll get to that. So the online application is opening in these days, basically, so it will be active very soon. Now, in the application, you will be able to choose up to 5 universities from those in the list. And you will choose them by indicating the order of preference. For each university, you must enter a study plan proposal. This is not a detailed study plan, but you will just need to select and make a list basically of the exams, of any potential exams you can take at the host university and their corresponding exams approximately at the University of Pavia. Now, remember that this is just an indication, okay? It doesn't need to be precise and it doesn't need to be very detailed. And I mean, it's something you will be able to change, of course, okay? But at least it's important that you go and visit the websites of the universities you're interested in and try and see whether they are suitable for your program, basically, and see if you find any interesting courses that match more or less the courses you have in your study plan here in Italy. If they do match, you insert these activities. So basically, you just take a look at the university programs and their academic offer to see if it's suitable for the exams you have left. That's what you have to do. So as I said, it's an approximation. So it doesn't have to be very precise or the exact plan you will cover once you are abroad. This is something we will define later in a more precise and official way. But this is useful for you because you can start to orient basically and to navigate the foreign institution. And at the same time, it will show us that you get a clear idea of what you want to do, what you plan to do. It's just a list of exams at a host universities, because you will do this for each university you will pick, and the corresponding exams in Pavia. And the same, you will do the same basically for the double degree, although the correspondences here are fixed in a way, they are set already. So let's see. This is a very important table because it will help you check, okay? Um, it's like a checklist. Now, it will help you check that you paid attention to all the relevant details when choosing a specific destination. First of all, and now we'll see that immediately on the destination list, you will check the disciplinary area, then the level of study, and we'll see whether it's bachelor's, master's, PhD, doctorate, etc. The academic offer, as we just said, any more requirements established by the host university, very important, the language requirements, and then the duration of the period, depending on whether you have already studied abroad for some time, and so you might have covered all the 12 months, for example, or let's say that you studied abroad already for, I don't know, 8 months, so you cannot choose a destination for more than 4 months. Or if you do, okay, you will only be allowed to leave for 4 months, basically. Now, let's look at the destination list. Okay, I will give you some examples from all of them. This is an Erasmus, the destination of Erasmus, the list of Erasmus destinations for political science, and it's here. Okay. Now, what do I have to check, for example, as in this case? Now, this is the host university, so I can take a look, of course, at the university and see and check out their academic offer. Now, this is the study area because the macro area is political science, but then there might be subject codes, more specific subject areas. This is political sciences and civics, so it's quite general, but it could be something else, social and behavioral sciences, in this case, history and archaeology. So if you want to go here, for example, in the Czech Republic, no, but you have only, let's say, economics exams left, this university is not for you, okay? Because they may offer mainly history and archaeology exams within the macro area of political science. So it's important to check out this column. Number of available places. So you see here how many places are available for that specific destination. Duration, which is estimated because then it will be calculated depending on semesters and on your potential, on your needs as well, and on your potential prior mobility periods. This is very important, age column. Levels of study. 1 means bachelor's, 2 means master's, 3 means PhD. This goes hand in hand with this one, in which you find the study courses specifically. So if your study course is here, then you're good. Okay, it means that you can pick this destination. Here, you can find important notes. For example, here, okay, that's Freiburg. That's an agreement for the Department of Social Sciences. So most, okay, of the classes you pick will need to belong to this area, social sciences. So again, keep this in mind based on your program and study plan. Then, and this is another important section, you find the languages of instruction. Usually, in most cases, we have two. Okay. It's sufficient to show competence in either one of these two languages. If you speak both, that's good, but you need to demonstrate your level in just one of them, not necessarily both. So if you, for example, want to go to, let me see, Bamberg, okay, you can have either B1 German or at least B1 German or at least B2 English or higher. If you only have B2 English, that's fine, okay? You can still go to Bamberg, unless it is differently specified here in the notes section and maybe they tell you most of the classes will be in German, okay? Or, for example, here, there will be, that's another destination, an intensive course in September or March, depending on your semester. Or if your German knowledge, in this other case, is B1, we also need you to have a B1 level in English, okay? If this is not otherwise specified, okay, these destinations will not need a specific language certificate. But as we will see in a moment, your the language test at the language center in either one of these two languages or both will be enough. Okay. Now, so when you pick your destination, so this was an example from the political science area. Now, so if you're a political science student from the area of political science, you can pick 5 destinations from here, from this file, but also the Coimbra destinations, which are here exactly. And the same here. If you are, let me go back. So if you are a communication student, so a student in the communication area, so from the bachelor's degree in communication, innovation, and multimodality, or the master's degree in digital communication, you can pick your destinations from here. So the destinations which are just for communication students, or the Coimbra destinations. Just keep in mind in both cases that your area destinations, so the communication destinations for communication students, the political science destinations for political science students are just for you, okay? Just for the students who study in your study areas, basically. The Coimbra destinations, on the contrary, are open to the entire university, and in particular, to the courses indicated, to the programs indicated here. So, for example, Graz, Austria, okay. This is open to communication students, but also students in medicine, psychology, okay, and so on. This is also for political science. So it's for more degree programs. So the competition will be a bit higher. You can also pick, of course, Coimbra destinations, which is good because you have 5 choices to pick from. But remember that the 2 places available here are open to the entire university. It's still good because you'll have many chances to get a place, basically. But strategically speaking, it's best if you pick, if not all of your destinations are Coimbra destinations, okay? So it's best to pick some Erasmus destinations specific for your area and then some Coimbra destinations. Coimbra destinations, so here you can see the study programs in more detail. Sometimes some of them might require that you have a specific language certificate, okay? And if this is the case, this is specified in this column. Then this works exactly as the other table, basically. So you have the languages of instruction, and it's enough to show competence in one of them. Now we get to the next level, which is how do I show my competence in either one or the other or both of the languages of instruction. So we'll go back to the call here, and we get to the language proficiency section. Now, what do we do? And here isn't it a very clear table that gives you all the details? So I am a native speaker of a specific language. Still, you will have to upload a document. Otherwise, it will not be considered for this destination. What is the document? It's available on the website, and it's a self-certificate stating that you are indeed a native speaker in that language. And let me go back. Okay. Okay, it's right here. In the language section, you find a self-certification form. So you download it, you fill it out, and then you upload it when you apply. Let's now go back to the call. Okay. Now, I can be exempt from the language test or language certificate if I study, well, the language test, because the certificate may be different, but if I study, if I am enrolled in a degree program which is entirely taught in English, or which has a language requirement for access. Now, at this point, it is very important to check out another attachment to the call. So I go back to my call here, okay, and this says attachment 2. tables of accepted language certifications and exemptions from the language test. And here you find all the exemption cases basically. Now, if you have a language certification, it will be required to upload it. And here you have the list of all these certificates that are valid and acknowledged by the language center for each language. Each one of the languages which are considered for the destinations, basically. Now, more exemptions. Okay, if you are enrolled in a degree program that is entirely taught in English, so in our case, that will be social sciences for global challenges, and the level automatically acknowledged level, recognized level is B2 in English, just in English. And word politics and international relations, C1 in English. So in this case, you won't have, if you're interested in a destination that that shows English as one of the languages of education, okay, you will automatically be assigned B2 level if you're a student in social sciences for global challenges, or C1 level if you are from world politics and international relations. Also, if you study in a master's degree program, in another master's degree program, your level in English will be automatically B2. And these courses include digital communication, and also GATE. GATE is not included here, but it's also included. So in this case, you will be automatically assigned B2 level in English. So if the destinations you choose, okay, have English as either, okay, language of instruction, you will be exempt from the test. So, and you won't have to upload anything in this case because this table is really well done, basically. So you see none. What do you have to attach in the application? Nothing, basically, because the office will check this out. For other languages, of course, you will need to upload a certificate or do the language test, because this is just for English in this case. So for programs taught in English. Now, if you're a PhD student, in this case, you will just need a form issued by your supervisor and attached to the application that declares a specific level, that states a specific level, proficiency level in a specific language. If you already have any international language certifications in any language, you will need to upload them. Okay, in this case, you will need to upload them when you apply. And also, if you already have a certificate issued by the University Language Center in Pavia, Centro Linguistico, you will be exempt from the test in that specific language. Also, in this case, you will not need to upload anything. So you basically upload something when it's external from the university. Okay, what do I do if I don't have a certificate and I still need to, of course, show my level? Okay, your exams, university exams are not enough. You need to take the language assessment test with the University Language Center. Some of you may have already taken a test in the first session in December, and you already know your level. In all other cases, you will need to first signal that you will apply. You will need to take the test with the language center, and then you will need to actually take the test. Okay. The test will be online. Okay. And let's see something more. The test concerns these languages: French, English, Portuguese, Spanish, and German. For any other languages that might be required, we don't have that many cases, but in that case, you might upload some other proof of language proficiency, like a form. But in these cases, okay, you will need to take the test with the language center if your condition is not included here in the table. If your situation is not one of these, basically. So what do? So you will signal in the application phase that you will intend to take the language test with the language center. The test will be online during this week, okay, between February 16th and 18th, okay. Every language or part of every day or part of day will be devoted to a specific language, okay. And what else? Basically, the calendar will be published after the application closes online by the language center. So check this out and make sure you always check that page, the language center page, which is, let me show you. Okay, language center. Okay. This is the Erasmus Plus language test section that is of interest to us. And you check this out basically, and you see more details. You will find also the list at some point here. What's important to do is to check out a test template. Okay, the test is incremental, so it starts easy basically, so at A2 level, and it increases basically. The level increases as you keep doing it basically. So the higher your proficiency level, the longer the test will be. Okay, it's very important that you do the preparation activities now on Keto. They're all available on Keto, and so basically you will just enter Keto. You will pick your language, and for any language you pick, you will find a simulation basically, a mock test, and then preparation activities for many different levels. So it's important you check this out and you also practice and get familiar with the test. Okay, so registration takes place in the application phase, so it's something you will indicate on the platform, and then more details as found on the call, as we just said, in this week in February. So make sure you're quite free on that week, so because the test will be online, so you'll need to have a stable connection for at least a couple of hours. Depending on how many languages you pick. If it's just one language, it will be just a couple of hours on one day. If it's two languages, you will need more days, basically. Okay, this is something I mentioned before. If your target language is not included in the list, then in that case, you must produce a language certification, or you will ask the international office, basically. Okay, now, in the political science and communication areas, we will not have an interview, okay? But your selection will also be based on motivation, and we will see what happens. This is for creating the ranking, the graduatory, the list of students, okay, who will be eligible for taking part in an exchange program. So this is the score, and the maximum score will be 150 points, divided into 100 points on merit, based on your average, basically, and how many exams you have taken. And part of the score will be related to your academic and personal motivation. How do we evaluate that? In our specific area, we'll send you more details and emails as well, but you will be required to fill out a Google form on which you will upload both your CV or resume and a short motivation letter or statement, but quite, let's say, longer. So, like a motivation letter, in which you will detail both your personal and especially academic motivations for taking part and for applying, for being interested in the study abroad program. This could be either in English or in Italian, and also your CV or resume can be in any format. We do not require a specific format. The important thing is that you'll need to do this to be part of the ranking, to be eligible and selected, okay? And you will need to achieve a score of at least 20 in this section, 20 out of 50 in the academic and personal motivation assessment to be considered eligible for a position, basically. Now, all the information related to this part of the application, let me show you, will be available here in Annex number 3. which is here. Okay, that will be soon updated by the offices. So it will be here. Here you can find all the additional criteria established by different study areas. Okay, something might be already here, not yet. Okay, but soon more details will be available. Okay. Now, let me just go back to the call and then we'll move on to the overseas procedure and program. Okay, what happens here? Now, based on your ranking, on your position, we will try if you meet all conditions and requirements, we will assign the destination. So we'll first try and assign you the first destination you picked, okay? And then we might move on to your following next destinations if there are no longer any available places, any free places in your first choices, basically. So that's the idea. Or, for example, if you do not meet the language requirements for the other destinations you picked. So it's a wide range of choices. Okay, so with 5 choices, we might be able to assign you one of the destinations you picked. Okay, so here a host university other than those indicated in the application may be given to you if the available places have already been assigned or if the proposed university is considered more suitable for you, in your case, based on your language skills, or if the duration is not compatible with the remaining months available. Okay. Or the language requirements, as we said, are not enough or not compatible. Okay. Now, these were the main aspects to look at, but make sure, as I said before, you will read the entire call in detail carefully. Okay. Now, the overseas program, okay, you can again get to the web page starting from the university homepage, or you can find the exact web page by starting from the email you received from the international office. Anyway, it's still here, international, okay, going abroad, opportunities abroad, and then again, study abroad and overseas exchange program. Basically, the programs is very much the same as the Erasmus call. What changes here are 2 main things, basically. First of all, the fact that all the overseas destinations are for the entire university, like the Coimbra, okay, destinations. So if you look at the where sections, and it's also available here with the call, basically, available destinations. Let's check out the file. So as you can see, these destinations are open to many degree programs. So for example, Argentina, or this one, Belgrano or Cordoba, for example, Buenos Aires. They're for many, okay, degree programs. So if your degree program is here, then you're good. If it's not here, they say, please read carefully note 1. We have a footnote here. We just scroll down and we get to read the footnote here. The available study areas indicated are those that the partner institution makes available and made available to students in international mobility. So you're always invited to check carefully the academic offer. Even if your area is not included here, it might still be accepted, but just make sure maybe with one of us, your international mobility coordinators, or just contact the university if you want to. So if you have any doubts. Most of these, as you will see, are open to students in communication and political science, so you'll be okay. For example, this one, we know it's for engineering, chemistry, earth and environment students, and so this will not be open to us, very likely. As you can see here, we have many destinations, and don't be discouraged by the fact that this is open to the entire university, because every year many students from political science and communication just are selected for overseas destinations. We could say that most of our students who apply are able to get a place, basically. So here, there might be more requirements, let's say, regarding semesters, specific semesters. Okay, so they can signal, the university signals if they can accept students for both semesters or for just one. And in the case, you need to think about your study plan. And I said before, there are two major differences between the overseas program and the Erasmus program. One is that for the overseas program, many destinations might require a language certificate. Okay. This doesn't mean that you need to have the certificate when you apply, but students who already have a certificate in that specific language will be, in a way, preferred, will have priority, let's say. Don't worry if you don't have a language certificate yet, you will be able to get it later, and I will show you. The other major difference is that, of course, these are destinations open to the entire university, so you might compete with more students, but it's still okay because, as I said before, the probabilities are really high. Okay. And the overseas program requires an interview, basically. So you'll have to apply online, upload all documents, but then you will also be required to attend an interview, a short interview, in which you will be asked about your motivation mainly. Okay, so you will explain the reasons why you decided to apply for that specific destination. Okay, and as in your motivation letter, what we expect you to do is to talk about your motivations, but also from an academic point of view, showing us that you have checked out the academic offer of the universities you're interested in. Now, it's important again to read the entire table with all notes and links and additional information that each university may want to give you. Okay. Here, since we're talking about overseas, many destinations, of course, might require that you take a specific number of exams to keep your visa. Okay, so it's also something you can check out. So make sure you check out all the footnotes. For any administrative information, you can contact the international office, outgoing.mobility@unipv.it. Again, we have two languages of instructions in most situations. And again, it's enough to show your competence level in either one or the other. For example, if you have both Spanish and English, it's enough if you have a specific level in Spanish and not in English, and vice versa. So this says here let me see, you have additional information about credit and grading systems in some cases, but the language, okay, the level of study is also key here. For example, here, Universidad Nacional de Córdoba in Argentina is just for bachelor's degree students. So that's important now. And then you will find a study area here, the macro area here. Courses are open for bachelor students only, so you have an additional specification here, and then a language, okay, certificate may not be required. There's no minimum number of credits they ask you to take once you are there. And let's see, language support, visa, so more requirements here, insurance, and the language opportunities here. So let me show you. Okay. Okay. Here in the language requirements section, you find the details. If you only see Spanish B2, as in the Erasmus table, this means that they ask for no certificate. So it will be enough to sign up for the language test at the language center. So this is always necessary also for the Erasmus, for the overseas program. Okay. And you will need no extra certificate. You will need to reach to achieve that level with the language test. Otherwise, there might be, if the certificate requirement is specified, this will mean that to go to the specific destination, you will need to have a language certificate. Now let's check this out in the call, and let's go back. Okay. Okay, let me open it again. So probably, okay. Let's open it again. Okay. Here we go. So it's very much similar to the Erasmus application. Okay. And I'm sorry, let me go back to the English version. Okay, and of course we have to go all the way back unless it is here. Okay. Also in this case, it is important to check out all the annexes. Okay, Annex 1 defines the requirements for the start of the mobility period, its characteristics, and all the requirements basically. And it also contains a section on economic contributions. Annex 2 is the one we looked at before, the one about the language test exemptions basically. Now, as per language certificate, let me show you where the information you need is. And it is right here, the first part. Okay, language requirements. So check out the language requirements of the host university or universities. Some institutions with more than one language of instruction restrict enrollment in courses taught in one of these languages to holders of the corresponding language certificate. So it's something you'll also have to check out. And if the host university specifically requires a specific international language certificate, it will be your responsibility to provide for its achievement within the required time frame. You will need to have it by the time of your application or by the time of the interview, okay? But it is usually required in the nomination phase, okay, or when you actually enroll in the university, in the host university, basically. If you don't have a certificate, you can still, okay, of course, apply, but you will have to apply for the language test at the language center, at the university language center. So in any case, that's a requirement for the application. If you don't have a certificate, then you will be able to take the certificate later. So here, if the chosen destination institution requires the possession of an international language certificate, okay, the possession of the certificate at the time of application and during the interview will be a preferential requirement for the purpose of assigning the location. However, it is possible to still submit the application even in the absence of such a certificate, demonstrating your linguistic competence according to the methods indicated before. So in this case, by taking the language test at the university language center. In this case, any assignment of the destination of the place basically will be subject to obtaining the required certificate by the deadline established by the host university. Okay? And then the calendar very much follows what we saw before. Okay. So to recap, make sure you read the call and all of the components. And then how to apply. That's the next phase, basically. This is very similar for both Erasmus and overseas. How do we submit the application? Okay, you will use the Mobility Online platform, basically. So you have an application form here. And then you have two very detailed documents because the application procedure will take place in two phases, step 1 and step 2, and you find all the details here. Step 1 is the one in which you will insert your personal data and the specific exchange program you want to take part in. You need to do two separate applications if you intend to apply for both Erasmus and overseas. You can also apply for both. It's no problem. You can apply for both, definitely. If you end up winning in both cases, so being assigned a destination in both cases, that's also okay. You can just pick one and decide you prefer overseas to Erasmus, but you can also decide to combine the two. It's okay. And you can spend one semester overseas, one semester in Europe as an Erasmus student. So you can combine both. But you need to do two separate applications for the two programs, okay? So this is the first section in which you insert your personal data, your study details, and this is the important section because here you also, let's say, insert, of course, universities up to 5 that you picked. So our suggestion is that you pick all 5 of them. So we have more options to pick from if we need to move on to your next destinations. And you'll have more chances to be assigned to one destination. This is also the part in which you can briefly already insert your academic and personal reasons for applying, okay? And it's the section in which you will include a list of exams you might take at the host university and the corresponding exams in Pavia. Okay, again, as I said before, this needs to be an approximation. So something that serves as an indication to show that you have taken a look at the academic offer of the potential destinations. Here, you will also indicate if you want to just take exams or combine exams and thesis preparation or just do thesis preparation. Okay, once you're finished with the first phase, okay, you will close basically. You will send the application and you find all the instructions here. And then you will receive an email that will enable you to move on to the next phase, to the next step. So make sure you get this email and so check your junk and spam inbox as well. Once you have completed phase 1, you can move on to phase 2, step 2. And this is the language phase in which you, if you have any, in which you will upload your language certificate or certificates, okay? And this is also the phase in which you will state whether you intend to take the language test with the language center. So this is an example. Do you already have a language certificate? If yes, if so, you move on to step 2. Otherwise, you skip to 5. No, okay? And then they ask you language by language. Are you enrolled in one of the study programs for which there's a language exemption? Yes or no? Do you still want to take the test because maybe you think your level is higher or you need to take the test for other languages different from English? Okay, and in the case, you will indicate it here. And so you will be automatically, basically appear in the list and enrolled for the language test with the language center for that specific language or languages. Okay? This is also the section in which you might upload a self-certificate, okay, documenting that you're a native speaker in a specific language. Okay, I think that should be all. Let me go back to the call to see. Okay. Okay, we'll have no interview for Erasmus, but that will be an interview, remember, for the overseas program. So all details will be available here. And I would say that's it. If you need more information, okay, you can sign up for one of our online or in-person meetings specific by area, communication or political science. And the meeting will be with one of us in person or online, but synchronously. And you will be able to ask questions, any questions, or ask us about any doubts you might have about the procedure, mostly related to the procedure, to the choice and the selection of different destinations or the academic offer, for example. Um, Again, let me see. Okay, the calendar will be soon available here in the InfoDay sections, but we will also send emails to all the students in the department to for you to find the link and be able to sign up for the meetings. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. And I hope you will apply for this incredible experience.